So hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Jason Cappuccino of Sashes&Scripts, and today I want to tell you a story. This is about our encounter with Miss Heart Evangelista. At this point in time, everybody knows that Heart visited us at my class several days back to talk about design, merchandising, the luxury sector of fashion with my design and merchandising class. And I think that has been one of the highlights of the students' day and this semester, and is also one of the highlights of my career as a teaching professional. Now, for everyone who is not in the know, this is actually not the first time that I met her. In fact, I met her way back, almost 18, 20 years ago, back in 2006, in the uh, 2006 Pen Shop Denim Lab Rockfest Festival that was held in Araneta Coliseum. My job back then was a designer with Pen Shop, and it is my responsibility to make sure that the clothes of the celebrity endorsers are well in place. All the accessories are packed together, are placed in sequence during the fashion show at a corner where each of the endorsers can easily take on, wear them, and then put it back into their own plastic bags so that it's ready to be packed out after the show. During that time, I believe it was still Lala Flores who was doing Heart's makeup, and we were all sequestered in a room backstage. And one of the things that I was, in charge of is to steam yung mga merchandising, mga damit na isusuot nila. And in that backstage, I've met Heart, and she was very lovely, she was very pleasant, hindi siya maere. She would always, in interviews mention that, she is maarte, but she's not masamang tao. And in that instance, when I first met her, and and I was starstruck because I was expecting a celebrity status na mararamdaman mo yon with any of the celebrities that you meet. I did not have that with her. In fact, she made it easy for us na makagaanan ng loob dahil she was never a diva backstage. She was pleasant with everyone, and she would treat everyone, as she would treat, the same, people that have celebrity status like her. And I think that was one of the reasons why we admired her back then. However, not to everybody's knowledge, there was actually a mishap, an accident that happened backstage right before she was about to walk the route. And despite what I believe to be in a tremendous pain, she shouldered on doon sa pagrampa niya sa stage. Hindi niya pinakita na she was, na may masakit na sa katawan niya. Hindi niya pinakita na, tawag ito, na there was, a mishap, that there was an accident that happened right before she was about to walk the stage. And she showed, professionalism at that point in time. Saka na lang namin nalaman na, tawag ito, na nagkaroon pala ng accident backstage when right after the show, she was sent to the hospital to do a checkup. So during that instance, in that very small corner of the backstage at Araneta Coliseum, nakitaan namin ng kababaang loob ni Hart during that time. And I think that was one of the reasons why I believe yung mga fans niya have always had something pleasant and nice to say about her, because mula noon hanggang ngayon, dala-dala niya yon. I am not sure if maniniwala kayo dito sa dito sa kwento ko. But I remember distinctively that nung humingi ako ng kahit isang selfie. Hindi pa selfie doon ang tawag noon doon. A photo with her. And pinauna kanya isa-isa backstage. And that was, for me, one of the most memorable na mga instances in my career as a designer. And ito yung isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit I strive to do better, to improve. Dahil may mga tao pala na kapag nakasalamuha mo, when you meet them, they will inspire you to do better. They will inspire you to become the better versions of yourself, because you see that if nakikitaan mo na they are being genuinely good, that kind of energy, that kind of vibes rubs off on you. And I remember that the photo that I took with Heart, kahit na medyo blurry pa siya noon, because it was using a digicam na walang what do you call this, back display, na hindi mo makikitaan yung sarili mo kung nagsiselfie ka. I treasured that photo for the longest time, to the point that I believe back then, Friendster pa yung uso, and doon ko pinost yung, yung photo na yun. And I had, I had treasured that photo until it was lost. Until nagsara ang Friendster, until yung hard drive ko na kung nasaan, nandun yung first photo namin together, nasira, hindi ko na ma-access yung photo na yun. And it is with that, with that hope na I was hoping to get a photo with Heart, which I did, which everyone in the class did. That nakitaan ko ulit yung the same person that nakasalamuha ko before, almost 20 years back, has not changed, has always been generous with her time with the fans, has been generous with her kindness to everyone. And that is why when Heart, messaged me with regards to the recording, the live stream recording that I had with Mark Sobrajahani, kinagat ko yung opportunity na makapag-talk siya in my class. And, time flies. I did not expect that in 2006 na 10, 20, almost 20 years in the future, I will be meeting Heart once again, because I knew back then that yung opportunity to have a photo with a celebrity comes like once in a lifetime, and hindi na uulit yung mga ganitong pagkakataon. And when, opportunity came in na ma-invite ko siya to talk to my class, hindi na ako nagpatumpik-tumpik. There was this part of me na kagatin mo na. Huwag ka nang mag-isip, just plan it ahead. Just work on it to make it happen, and that's what I did. And during the class, during the talk with the class rather, she was very inspiring. She was accessible, and she was very relatable. You feel that there was no boundary between her and you while she talks. She brings you in, and joins, makes you join her journey while she is talking about the things that she's passionate about. And I think that is one of the reasons why everyone in the class, whether they are just there to observe or there to learn, we all felt like we came out as winners. And dito ko napatunayan yung sinasabi ni Hart na fashion is not supposed to be a competition. Na hindi iisa yung uuwing yung panalo with fashion. We were able, every one of us, mula students to the staff ng school, to the faculty of the clothing tech and interior design program of the University of the Philippines, we all felt that Heart gave us a gift individually with her time and her presence, and gave so much of her to everyone that feeling namin, dala-dala namin yung mga gifts na yon, even days, weeks, and probably even years after the encounter. And it is that kind of, that kind of rapport that touches lives. It is that kind of instances where someone like Heart touches your life so that you dream bigger. Because of what she did, what she was able to trailblaze in fashion, in career. Now, I have students who feel that it is possible in the future that a Filipino designer could be, maybe head a design house in Paris, or perhaps work with some of the most respected brands in the industry, or feel that maybe 5 years, 10 years from now, they will be able to establish a luxury brand that is based, that is Filipino owned, that is based here in the Philippines, that they can bring their talents and explode it in the world. I even have a very interesting story about an interaction between Heart and a student of mine who said na because of this instance, he feels that he can finally graduate. And this is the kind of stories that nakaka-warm ng heart, nakakataba ng puso, that gives you with that feeling that anything is possible now. And I think this is where a lot of people needs to understand that what Heart did, not only for my students, not only for my class, myself, and the people I work with in school, but I think what she did with fashion itself was that she represented the Philippines in order for more of us to be able to break into the industry in the future. I think the mere fact that she had her foot on the door with all of these, fashion weeks, whether it's couture, whether it's in Paris, whether it's Pret-a-Porter, whether it's in Milan or New York. She kind of made it possible for Filipino designers, Filipino students, Filipino creatives to dream bigger. I think with that talk, suddenly I feel that my students now um, have a bigger understanding of the fashion world, as well as a bigger dream, a bigger ambition that will, propel them into the future. And this kind of gift is a gift that is immeasurable dahil hindi lahat ng tao, hindi lahat ng mga teachers are able to push and inspire students as such. And that is why this talk with Heart has been a very instrumental, a very precious na gift dahil hindi siya available to all. I know that there will be people who will be questioning na kaya ka lang naman gumagawa ng content on Heart kasi you're riding her coattails, that you're using yung 15 minutes of fame mo because of the association with Heart and her team. Which again, I am even more grateful with dahil hindi lang si Heart ang nandun, hindi lang si Heart ang nagsalita, but she brought her team from designer Michael Leyva, who really regaled stories about his roots, his background, and given it to the students na nagsimula siya sa maliit na bagay hanggang nakarating niya yung kung nasaan siya ngayon. The mere fact that Miss Isa, her stylist, is there. Her manager, Miss Ira, was also there. And of course, Miss Resty, who has been communicating with me with regards to the logistics of Heart's visit. It all felt like dinala niya lahat ng ito, and we were all able to communicate, to discourse, to converse with her team, and get even more learning, more opportunities to gain knowledge from all of these people. And I think yung ganong klaseng gift, you cannot measure that in financial rewards. You cannot put a dollar sign with that kind of gift that is given to you. And this is an opportunity that is once in a lifetime na baka hindi na maulit. And I am very glad that, Heart was very happy with the talk, that she also mentioned na, let's do this again sometime. I know na yung oras, yung isang oras na yon, katumbas yon ng ilang lectures, ilang linggo ng lectures na hindi kayang pantayan yung nalaman namin, yung natutunan namin with her. Heart, you've been a actress, you've been a painter, an artist, and a health fashion icon. So, how did you take us on this journey to become yung career mo in fashion?
Ang mahaba kwento. Well, for me kasi, ever since before, I always gave off this parang vibe that I wasn't included in a sense. I was very different from my classmates. I was very, in short, I was very maarte. Maarte talaga ako, pero kahit pananalita ako, maarte ako, pero hindi naman ako masamang tao. In fact, I was bullied in school for that. Because I was very, I couldn't, I felt very, I wasn't really I'm a happy person, but I wasn't like the type of person that's super out loud. So I'd express that through my chokers, my low pens, and stuff like that. So when I entered show business, I felt like also I wasn't the typical soap opera princess na, di ba, naka-nail art, tapos nandiyan lang, parang with clown or something. And so it was a struggle for me, but I kept that. I didn't want to clip that part. Although I remember management did try to clip it because I was a VJ on Mix for a really long time, and that's where I was able to really be myself. And then I remember they wanted to shift me to telenovelas, and I did Hiram, and they had to take me out of VJ because they kind of had to clip that part of my personality in order for the other role image to work. So it was really like a long struggle, but for some reason, even if it was my job, I kind of had to naturally have to break away from that molding until it has brought me to my real life, where basically, it's not that I lost everything, but I didn't really have like the bestest career compared to all of my constituents. But because of that, I was able to kind of reset and not do anything at all and just focus on being myself and not play a character. And because of that, I feel like for myself, I bloomed. And I was very happy, and because I was happy with what I was doing, it took me to certain paths that I didn't think I would ever be able to go to.
So, because you mentioned growing up, you were being bullied for being different. What is it about? What do you think about? I think Anna later mentioned that there's something about fashion that intimidates people, and I also want to get Michael's perspective on that because I think there's a lot of people who get intimidated, especially for people that have a very defined personal style, someone who knows who they are and able to communicate that with how they put on their clothes.
I think for me, kasi fashion is about being yourself. Regardless of who you are or no matter what, kung ano yung gusto mo suotin. As long as you are able to express kung sino ka, kung ano yung totoong ikaw, and people will love you for who you are. As she was saying last time, kanina, na parang, how can you be maglalaba with the pale hair? But look at that ka-artihan or ka-kikayan brought her. She's a superstar now, di ba? She's not going to be Heart Evangelista for now. And look at her, she's waving the Filipino flag all over the world, di ba?
Kaibigan ko talaga siya.
I mean, doon siya dinala nung pagiging sarili. And kung ikaw, if you're given a chance to express yourself through this passion, and it will become your passion, I mean, you'll go a long, long, long way. Just like her.
Just like him. No, grabe din yung story niya actually, and where fashion has taken him. Kwento mo.
Well, I was a flight steward before. It was my brother who's the fashion designer. So during the time I was a flight steward, hindi ako masaya. Parang, actually I got terminated. Kasi I was caught sleeping sa flight. Maybe that time, walang gwapong pasahero. Kasi syempre ako, coffee, tea, or me, di ba? Tapos rampa ka na rampa sa cabin. Tapos during that time, it was my last flight from Cebu to Manila. Maybe wala talagang gwapo that time. So they got me sleeping sa flight sa likod. So I was terminated.
Sinubong siya.
Sinubukan ko. I'm not happy. In my mind, I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something na sinimulan ng brother ko, which is his legacy. He's a fashion designer. He graduated from Milan, fashion design merchandising. And then I asked him, aside from him, na kuya, gusto mo ba ituloy ko yung legacy mo? And then from then, in my dream, there's this red gown na nagpagawa sa akin. He was the one finishing that red gown in my dream para sa akin. So maybe that's a perfect sign na, sige, gagawin ko to, gusto ko gawin yung kanya. So, my life was featured in MMK actually, promo na. If you wanna know about the real story, so yeah, my life was featured there.
Grabe yung story niya. Kaya, ano siya in a sense, parang for some people, especially you guys, I mean, this is what you study and a lot of people think it's kaartehan, it's pompous, it's so much more than that because it's self-expression. And you, like as a designer or people behind the fashion industry, you guys are like warriors or angels for people like me. I was struggling with my self-expression. Basically, yes, luxury can look intimidating, but I think it's really meant to look intimidating because I would always say this in my interview, it's really my armor. I'm really just a normal girl. I'm very normal, and people, they feel like I'm standoffish, I'm wearing this, but I feel like I need that because that's in a sense my protection. So I'm not so easily invaded because I easily trust it. So it's really something else. Fashion isn't just on art. It's really, it will, what do you call this? It will drape the character of a person, which makes that person shine.
So next, so my question.
Yes.
Most of your contents are about fashion. So can you take us back for your first fashion? So how was the experience? What were the challenges? And how did you, or what are the lessons you learned from that?
So, looking back, the very, very first show I ever attended was Scaparelli. Sila yung pinakauna. So I was one of the lucky ones na nung binili sila ng company ng Todd's, tama ba ako?
Yes.
Todd's, diba? Thank you so much. Teacher nandiyan. Nung binili sila, nag-reopen sila, maliit lang. Tapos yung atelier nila ngayon, sa Plaza Vendor, doon lang yung show nila. So super small. And I remember I was able to attend that show kasi I had a friend who was working in Heart Evangelista. And she was my longtime friend that I met nung hindi pa kami kasal ni Cheese noon. Tapos na-promote siya. Tapos friend siya. Tapos hanggang sa tumagal, nagkaibigan kami. And I was in Paris because I was meeting up with Michael Kos. Kasi we connected with Instagram because of my painted bags. And then during that, when I was on my way to Paris, she said, you know what? I think we can get you in a show for Scaparelli. They're a new brand. And then, okay, so that was my first ever. And I remember when I was there, oh my God, it was so cool to see everything up close. Like, parang you feel like you're in Neverland. Like, all these characters that you wouldn't believe that you're like right beside you or in front of you. Parang walang maniniwala sa'yo na yun. Tapos naalala ko ng time na yun, pinagtatawanan pa ako ng marami dito. Lalo na ka-constituents ko, na anong trip niya, parang hindi yan. Pero ako ng time na, I was so smitten by this Neverland, I had to go back. And because I think, you know, it's a plus para sa akin na, feeling ko dahil Pinoy tayo, meron tayong charm. Maliit pa ako, so parang hindi naman ako hindi naman ako, ano ba yun, simple lang. Ano lang ako, ganyan lang, maliit lang, hindi ako masyadong mabibo, ganyan. Nagkataon na, yung katabi ko, presidente pa siya ng Couture Federation, tapos chika-chika, until sa, nakita ko, like, the same time, I was at a cafe, I saw the same person, whatever, ganyan. Until sa nag-roll, like, all of a sudden, I was invited again to another show, and then, at that time, I met Kevin Kwan, and then he saw my bags, he featured it on New York Post or something like that. And then, hanggang sa he got me for Harper's Bazaar. And at the same time, I sat beside Christian Louboutin, and I was so nervous na, kakausapin mo siya ng yan. Eh, nakwento niya na he speaks Portuguese. Eh, yung ex-boyfriend ko, Brazilian, syempre. Nagsalita. Naging kaibigan ko siya. Kasi talaga nag-text siya sa akin, nung ito nga, pumunta sa bahay niya nung last time. Nag-CR siya dun sa master bedroom ni Christian. Sabi niya, parang kahit ikwento ko ito, walang maniniwala sa akin. Nung nag-CR siya, hindi niya makita yung hindi niya makita yung trash bin. So yung tissue niya, because I was, alam mo na ngayon na, sorry, nangangagat yan, by the way. Pero mabait yan, ba't ka na dyan? Akala ko. Pero wala nang reminder na saan siya nagawa. Ang alam niya, hustle siya. Anyway, so, it's because you're kind. It's because you're not there for other reasons, but because for yourself and you love what you do. You will meet certain characters, and they will see your sincerity, and they will help you. And then manganganak siya. That's how I started. Mulakan yung buto. That's how I started.
So my question is, how is the experience different? Each time you go to Milan or Paris Fashion Week, how different is Milan from Paris?
It's very different. Actually, haggard ako sa Milan. I like, the designers are great, I like it. Sobrang dami din. Pero for some reason, naguguluhan ako sa ganap. Feeling ko, ano bang explanation dun? Parang kasi halos sobrang dami talaga pumupunta sa Milan. I feel like, no, it depends which show. But they're all hard to get in. Pero mas madami nakakapunta. Kaya sobrang talagang chaotic, surfa siya. Although exciting siya. But if you do it like 5 shows in a day, nahimatay ako first time. Nahimatay ako, pero hindi kasi ako ininom ng tubig kasi malamig. So parang feeling ko, bumagsak na talaga yung kaluluwa ko. So, Milan for me, I'm okay. For Paris, kasi there's this sense of like, I don't know, it's like, romantic, creative yung city. So may calmness din siya. And aside from that, parang feeling ko mas selective yung each house. So parang mas ano siya, parang mas organized pa rin yung latag ng shows. Kasi simula talaga, kunwari laging kasama, may zombie. 1 hour later, Bali na. Magsastart ang may zombie, 40 minutes late. Bago ko pumunta sa Bali, naka-clippings ng buko, is nakakulot. Nandito na. So, helping siya para sa akin. So, yun yung difference for me, personally.
Is it because Milan designers are a little bit more commercial?
Siguro.
Because if you look kasi yung mga profiles ng mga designers na Paris, they're more into her craft.
Yes.
With Italian designers, there is a sense of like
Parang ready to wear. Mostly ready to wear. Yes, I guess, big point. Kasi ang couture naman talaga sa Paris na gagana din. Kasi ready to wear sa Milans. Ang dami talaga designers, ang dami presentations ng shoes, ng mga accessories. So I guess in a sense, tama ka. So siksik din talaga yung schedule mo. Tapos sa Paris, mas parang ganda ang inspire. There's time to process each show for somebody like na I would have said like to inspire ganyan. Charm. You know what I mean? So I like Paris.
Michael, if you're going to be invited by the French or the Italian Federation, which one do you prefer based on your personal design standards?
For me, Paris. Paris is really a place na parang anywhere you see, tumingin ka lang sa bintana, bumaba ka ng taxi, maglakad ka sa streets, it's an inspiration. Sobrang ganda, sobrang siyang, hindi siya pang lovers pang mga artists. Actually, I was able to experience, talking about Paris Fashion Week, I was able to be with her noong September ba tayo? September or January? September and January.
Yes.
Observer kasi ako eh. Lagi ko siyang, nasa loob kami ng van, lagi ko siyang tinitignan. Well, then I realized, sabi ko, yung ginagawa niya, hindi lang siya basta-basta. It has to have that passion, dedication, and kailangan mahal mo yung trabaho mo. She was making kwento in one day, she has like how many shows? 3 or more than sometimes 8 shows. Bumababa yun, umuulan, nagsushoot. Nagre-retouch siya sa sakit, pagbaba, iba na ulit yung damit niya. I mean, look at her in every show. Diba, iba-iba yung look niya. You have to see kung ano yung behind that every look. Kung paano niya ginagawa lahat yun, parang kada baba niya ng sasakyan, hey, it's showtime. Alam mo yun, yung parang, yung dedication niya, yung puso na meron siya on the love that she is doing. Sobrang na-observe ko siya talaga at sabi ko, hindi kaya to ng basta mo lang napagtripan mo, gusto mo mag-fashion week, gusto mo mag-ano. It has to have that 110% na passion. Kailangan mahalin mo siya. Kasi hindi biro yung ginagawa niya. She was mentioning na himatay na siya sa Milan eh. Pero imagine mo, nakalabas pa rin siya. I mean, yung puso niya, she texted me that time, sabi, sis, himatay ako sa mo. Okay ka lang ba? Kumakit ka ganun. Pinatext me kasi tawas natin. Alam mo yung parang if you are able to see her, ako nga, parang sabi ko as a designer, every time na join ako sa kanya, nagpupunta kami sa mga couture houses like yours, Caparelli, para ako nag-aaral ulit. And for me, it's an advantage and a big opportunity for a designer like me to be on that platform. Yung makita ko na nag-fit siya, even sa Dior, yung couture house ng Dior, nag-fit siya ng gamit. Pati yung nakikita ko, ganito pala yung pin dito, ganito yung tusokan mo.
Yes!
Kasi mo galing. So parang for me, pag uuwi ako ng Pilipinas, parang akong parating may bagong kaalaman wherein I can use, kasi dito sa akin wala eh. So nakuha ko doon, natutunan ko doon, pagbalik ko sa Pilipinas, magagamit ko na. So I'm really thankful for the opportunity na pinapayagan niya ako kahit ano mo yung manood lang ako sa kanya.
Pinipilit ko pa nga siya, hindi ka na, pumunta ka na, may feeling ako sa gitna.
Yeah,
Pumunta ka na. Kahit yung cortina nila parang puto.
Oo, madagdag ko lang, actually tama yung sinabi niya. naniniwala ba kayo na God blesses you because God knows you can be a blessing to everyone?
Yes.
Let's say the reason why Heart is here now because she's been blessed by so many. Kaya siya blessed ni God kasi siya yung instrument ni God to tell the people na blessing ako. There's God's day. So she's a blessing to me, she's a blessing to Ate Ira, to us, to the entire team. Tapos isa pang madagdag ko, kasi nga nung fashion ko sumasama ako sa kanila, yung teamwork nila nakakahanga. I mean, walang star, walang manang, walang, ano mo yun, yung multitasker lahat. Maniniwala ka, there was this incident, si Heart nagbubuhat niya ng paper bag, nagbubuhat siya ng sapatos niya. I mean, ako mahihiya ako, hindi ko siya pagbubuhatin, but I mean, hindi niya, wala sa utak niya na ako si Heart, ba't ako pinagbubuhat? Which, ang gandang quality, kasi every time pinapanood ko sila, syempre tumutulong ako, hindi naman ako nanonood lang. Baka sabihin mo, observe lang ako. Ang gandang nakikita na kaya siguro din gumagaan yung trabaho ng bawat isa. Kasi walang diva, walang star, lahat pantay-pantay, lahat mahal nila isa't isa, nag-enjoy sila lahat, at lahat mahal nila yung trabaho. So, ang ganda nung kinakalabasan. So, I mean, that's one thing siguro din, kaya hindi nakakapagod masyado dahil mahal mo yung mga katrabaho mo at lahat kayo gusto niyo yung ginagawa niyo.
So a lot of words have been like thrown around about style, like how you buy fashion, you choose timeless aesthetics, and it's about a personal story. But one of the pillars of luxury fashion is having a brand's identity. All mine feels fashion. It was very Schiaparelli, Galliano was Mr. Martello, which is Dior, and even Pharrell Williams is done at the top end. How do you manage to filter and find your personal style identity amidst the multitude of design narratives in the industry?
How do I manage? Actually ako, I always look at kung ano yung, I am not, I am not influenced by yung look of a particular like designer. Naniniwala ako that I have to focus on what is in me that I can show na ito yung ipapakita ko yung talent ko as a designer. Yun yung trademark ko as a designer. So I think mas yun kaysa yung do I follow yung iba-ibang looks na meron sila sa iba-ibang design.
Ako siguro, like, on a personal note, like, I'm lucky that in a sense, my mom or my dad, they loved fashion. So, I grew up seeing that and how they were very expressive with their style. But going back to like creative directors, you see like Kamali of Chloe, you see that they all trained, like even Phoebe Philo, they trained under Anthony Vaccarillo of YSL, and also like what's her name, Shitosi Abe of Sakai. She was under Comme des Garçons. So in a sense, I guess what Michael was saying that you find your own style, but at the same time, you have all these icons or people in your life that are there for a reason to kind of give you, to awaken that love for fashion, and then eventually you find your own direction. Like, look at what Kamali did for Chloe. I mean, that was so nice, but technically, she was under Anthony Vaccarillo. So, pero may iba-iba silang mga na parang distinct look. So, ganun siguro. You're inspired by some, but you still listen to your own voice, and it will come naturally. The DNA of your style or your branding will come naturally as time goes by. But everything else, they're all building blocks and inspiration to kind of awaken your soul when it comes to your own personal design. So it's
One last.
yes. Kahit last two ang saya. Last na.
So I will start. So my question is, since we went, since you said that there's a lot of resources here in the Philippines, I want to go back to that topic, especially on where do you see the future of Filipino fashion, particularly on cultivating local high fashion brands and local luxury brands, considering.
Well, the future of Philippine fashion is really maganda, especially of the materials that we have now. We just really have to be yung mabusisi at masipag maghanap. Let's say, especially right now, it's the project of our First Lady to focus on the weave that we have all over the Philippines. And she wanted us to bring it in an international platform. We are in talks with Uniqlo. She wanted us to use this weaving, let's say yung inabel, yung abakan ng sorsogon, because we have that already na eh. Kailangan na lang natin ng platform on how are we gonna level up. It's not just for Mantel, it's not just for Unan, it's not just for Cortina, it's also for clothes that we can showcase to the world na kaya pala at ganyan pala yung gawang Pilipino. So tayo, designers, ang goal natin is to focus on these materials na meron tayo. Kasi wala sila nun eh. Tayo meron, plus the talent that we have as a Filipino designer. Naniniwala ko magagaling yung Pilipino. Masisipag tayo, ano ba yung term na yung hindi tayo masisusuko. Resilient. So, given that, and given the materials that we have, I mean, it's gonna be a big opportunity for us, not just in the Philippines, pero sa buong mundo din.
Actually, meron akong magandang sagot siya. Parang naisip ko looking at all of you guys, sobrang talented ng mga Pinoy. And alam ko dito may crab mentality tayo. Minsan nakakabwisit naman talaga pag wala hindi ganyan. Pero sa totoo lang, ang dami nating bala, ang dami nating talented. So kung meron mang pumutok dyan yung isa, thank God na pumutok siya kasi now there's a chance the spotlight will slowly shine on more of us. Because look at the collaboration. Fendi, they're making the baguette bags or their other bags that are featuring different artists and painters. Dior is doing the same. Pero wala pa rin kasi umiingay pa na todo galing Pilipinas. So, kailangan talaga natin ng breakout start. Lahat tayo will be like a flood flow going into this world. So, laban lang talaga, magtulungan tayo, wala nang bashing-bashing. Magtulungan lang tayo, wala nang agaw-agaw na ganyan. Go, laban! Kailangan talaga kasi isa lang sa atin. Isa sa atin na makapasok, lahat tayo makakapasok. So, nakaka-inspire yung story. So, yun siguro for somebody that's about to see the world and it's about to bring like those that are gonna graduate, na yes, graduate ka. Ano mag-alala? Gagraduate ka? Totally na. Kasi you will give chances to everybody else. So, ang yaman-yaman lang, today is the day, let's do it.
Then this video, when someone like Heart Evangelista touches your lives and the lives of people around you, you cannot help but to do the same with others. During the talk, it was mentioned that the reason why Heart is blessed is because she is to bless others with the same grace that she's received, and I think that applies on this instance as well. I think and I believe that when one touches your lives and lights a candle on your soul, you pass it on and make sure that the same grace that you received is shared by others. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you again soon in our next episode. Bye!